Guy Hetherington here again for Alltracks Academy, and today we're taking it off the slopes and onto the workbench for a thorough look at how you yourself can put a top quality tune on your favorite set of skis. Also, I'll show you how to compile a comprehensive ski tuning kit for a fraction of the cost of what you would pay at your local ski store. Alright, that's a lot to cover, let's get to it. So the first and arguably most important piece of kit is going to be the vise that secures your skis to the bench. Because without a good one of these, nothing else I tell you today is going to matter. So you can go out and pick up a flashy new Toco vise like this one, which will set you back about $209, or you can follow these simple steps, pocket the $200 and build a vise which is just as good or better for around $9. Take a look. Other tools you'll need include a diamond stone, an axe file, hockey tape, a basic iron, universal wax, a green scouring pad, a plastic scraper, a fishing box, an adjustable file guide, and including your homemade vise, the grand total of your brand new ski tuning kit comes in at $143, still $66 less than the one Toco vise. The friction created when a loaded ski strikes a chunk of rock is enough to heat, bend, and tear your edge into a work-hardened state. The result is often a burr on the edge that is hard enough to kill the teeth on any file in quick order. So that's where this bad boy comes into play. This is a diamond stone, and being diamond, it outranks all other materials for hardness, including work-hardened burrs. So put a little water on there, that will prolong the life of your diamonds, and go to town on the burrs, paving the way for your precious $8 file. Okay, once you've cleaned off the burr heads, the edge is ready for file work. Now, when I talk about the edge of the ski, I'm really talking about two distinctly different edge planes, the base edge and the side edge. And if we're hoping to restore the edge to a completely clean state, depending on the amount of damage sustained, both of these will need to be filed. For the purpose of this demonstration, let's tackle the side edge first, as it is a comparatively straightforward process. Your edge angle boils down to personal preference, but for reasons I'll explain later, I prefer to set my guide at 89 degrees. So if you have an adjustable guide like this one, go ahead and do so. If not, you'll be bound by your guide's preset angle, which is just fine too. For best results, I like to encourage a very specific technique for this process, which begins by setting the ski in the vise with its base facing away from you. This way you can place the guide flat against the ski's base, two hands upon the guide, and be able to maintain good control as you draw the file towards your belly. This is by far the best way to control the guide as the file begins to grip the ski's edge. A couple of points to keep in mind here. 1. Be sure to apply as much inward pressure as you do downward pressure. Otherwise, you run the risk of rolling the file over the edge and creating more damage than what your ski already has. Sometimes the edge will have a super glossy polish, which can often act like a hard shell, deflecting the teeth of your file. If this is the case, you may have to work the file a number of times over the same spot until it cuts through the shell into the meat of the fresh edge. Once you have done that, the file will begin to engage, and you will feel it begin tearing shreds of metal off the side of your ski. These will exit the file as very fine metal ringlets, so if you see these falling onto the bench, you'll know you're on point. Once I have cut through the fresh edge from tip to tail, I'll often finish up with a couple of full-length passes where I try to draw off a steady strip of edge the whole way along. This will give me a consistent first round finish with no overlapping file sections. Once the rough tune has been applied to each of your ski's side edges, we can move on to attacking the base edge with a method best known as beveling. Beveling is the procedure which will most dramatically affect the feel of your ski against the snow, as it will determine how much drift your ski will offer up before the edges begin to grip. It is basically the process of applying an angle of recession to the edge away from the base of your ski. I like to go with a moderate option of approximately 1 degree of base bevel. Thinking back to my side edge angle of 89 degrees, If it is met with an adjacent base edge angle of 1 degree, then the resulting angle will be 90 degrees, but offset by 1 degree. And for me, this is just perfect. Firstly, lay the skis base up on your vise. Unpack your axe file and wrap 6 revolutions of hockey tape just above the handle. 6 because this is the amount of tape that will give your file enough ramp angle to cut 1 degree of material off your base edge. Now this is the part of your tune that is a little more art than science, and it'll require a little feel to determine how much base edge you're drawing off the ski. Obviously, the closer I bring the tape to the edge, the more ramp angle I give to the file and the greater the bevel will be. This system really does give you a lot of control over the beveling process. Begin with gentle file strokes, this time pushing the file away from you. But similarly to your side filing, work to break through the polish until fresh material becomes exposed. I begin with short jabs, and once I feel the file beginning to tear, I lengthen them out. The telltale as to how deep my bevel has gone is the texture of the plastic base material which sits directly against the base edge. Once this goes a shiny dark black, you'll know it has been touched by the file and that the bevel depth is correct. So once we've completed a rough file to the side and base edge of our skis, it is time to perform a really simple but important step, and that is to polish these edges to a bright shine. This is important because without this step, we'll be leaving a whack of micro burrs on the edges that will make the skis feel extremely grabby against the snow. So we've got to get rid of those, and the best way to do it is with the diamond stone. And again, this is not an aggressive tool, so we can wield it by hand and apply quite a lot of pressure. I've seen some people use a very fine 220 grit sandpaper for the same effect. Okay, so here we are at our final and arguably most simple task of waxing. So plug in your iron and set the temperature of the iron at or just under the point at which the wax begins to smoke. From here, drizzle a moderate amount of molten wax onto your base, being careful not to make contact with the iron. Then, simply work the iron up and down the base until you see an even pooling of wax covering the base from edge to edge. Once this is achieved down the entire length of the ski, they are done. Okay, we're almost there. All that is left to do is scrape and polish the base. And that should be done with a sharp plastic scraper, to which I apply a double thumb grip and push away from my chest, ploughing the wax from the base. And I do this knowing that due to the porous nature of this plastic, much of the wax I applied to the ski has now been absorbed by the base. And this is really the only wax that I would like to leave behind. So the absolute final step is to take a chunk of leftover 2x4, wrap it in the green scouring pad, and polish away on your base. This will help smear any residual wax evenly through the base, as well as texture the base for an even better glide. Okay, there you have it. Some essential techniques on how to hand tune your skis. Until next time, this has been Guy Hetherington for Alltracks Academy. If you're looking for next level ski improvement, please check out our website or drop us a line directly. But in the meantime, be sure to subscribe to our channel for instant updates on new release videos, and have a great season out there.